On today's video, we're going to be talking about steps to take to effectively co-parent. Stay tuned. Welcome people, welcome back to my channel, and I'm eye-see-tah, and this is Tita's World. On this channel, you'll be getting videos on a free-form block journey, sustainable living in the Caribbean, and minimalism. But today, I'll be talking about divorce and separation and co-parenting, that kind of thing. So if you've never followed me before, go right ahead and follow me on Instagram. I styled my hair, guys. I'm styling my hair. I'm on a freeform lot journey. If you want to see the video for my freeform lot journey, you can go ahead and go here. But let's get into the video. So if you haven't watched my lives or watched my stories, you wouldn't know that I'm actually separated. We've been separated now for about 2 years, but we have 2 beautiful daughters. And it took us a little bit longer because we were living apart but still essentially having kind of a relationship for about a year. But we officially separated about 2 years ago. And what separation looks like, from my perspective, it is just that you're no longer in a relationship. You understand that you're now trying to function separately and leading towards getting a divorce. And I'll definitely do another video about divorce and how it takes place here in the Caribbean and what it entails and how it affects the children. And if you'd like to see that video, please leave a comment so I can know exactly what you want me to discuss, how I'm going through it, what's going on, that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Alright, so I'm going to tell you about exactly how I went through it and how it worked for me and what I had to do to essentially ensure that the kids were okay. I'm pointing that way because they're in the room here, right? Alright, so we didn't get along for a very long time. In the marriage, afterwards, and especially after we separated, we really didn't get along. We took that opportunity. I took that opportunity, and I'm going to say that's what I think he did too, was to just screw it all to hell. I don't have to deal with you no more. I don't have to listen to what you got to say. I don't have to compromise with you, so I don't have to do anything. So I don't have to do anything. What we didn't realize until it got a little bit too late was that our behavior was affecting our children. They started to notice things because they didn't realize that daddy wasn't at home when we were separated, because he was essentially always living outside the home. He lived and worked in another parish. We have 13, 14 of them here in Jamaica, and I lived with one with the kids. So he was always away and kind of just coming for the weekend. So they kind of knew what was going on where that was concerned, but they didn't know that daddy and mommy weren't together anymore. I really had to have that conversation with them. But what I had to eventually do when I realized that the kids were suffering, not suffering, but they were being affected, I was getting crazier. He was getting crazier. We were just doing things just never make no sense. Plain and straight. It never made no sense. We are both to be blamed where this is concerned. So I'm not even going to throw shade at him, which I can, but I'm not going to throw shade for him because the two of us did go through our own little hurt. You know what I'm saying? We're going through our own little hurt. So let me just bring it right back. So the first thing you need to do is ensure you think about the kids. But it shouldn't be thinking about them to the point that you are also uncomfortable. You shouldn't be, you know what, I'm going to take this crap from this man because more on my kids them alright. You have to set some standards. You have to set some ground rules. You have to ensure that what you're doing is effectively working positively for the children, but also working for you. So you have to think about yourself in this, and you have to work for the guy too. You have to work for your husband or your wife if you're a guy. You have to work for them too. So you really have to write down to the drawing table, write down what you need, what the kids need, and then you start to present that. And if you have somebody you can talk to, because I could talk to him where this was concerned, and I say, hey, write down what you need from me. How do you like me to go about this? He didn't write it down. He just eventually told me. But to give him an idea of what needed to be done. The next step I did, I took him to court. No, hold up. It's not what you think. It wasn't a matter of degradation or embarrassment or anything like that. But on my list of what I needed from him was consistency. I wanted accountability and consistency. I wanted to have a free state of mind that when he's supposed to do what he's supposed to do, that I'm not the only one that has to tell him to do this. The law is saying to him that this is what you need to do too. So we went to the mediator first, that the courts appoint, and most courts in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, appoint a mediator first. You sit down with them, you negotiate what you want, you talk about how you feel, and they do a little bit of counseling in there too. And sometimes in that session, they'll send you to more counseling to try to fix the marriage, which they did. They did send us to counseling for another year. So hence why I'm still separated. We went to did we go to counseling? No, we didn't go nowhere, you know. We didn't go anywhere. We did not go to counseling. We just said okay. And we just went on acting crazy for another 6 months. To tell you. Alright, but what the courts did for us, and I'm not gonna say me, for us, my ex, my kids, and myself, was it created stability. It said this is the amount of money you need to pay. It says she or he has custody. You have visitation for this time period. You should pay the amount of money in this time, and everything else is covered this way. So it really just kind of set the base of what you're working with. It set the base, the foundation of what you need to work with. And where that's concerned, you're going to need that, because when feelings get into play and that man decides he don't want to pay no money right now, or he don't want to talk to you right now, or he don't want to take his kids right now, you can always refer back to, hey, we agreed on this. We signed off on this. You say at this you're comfortable with. So, do what you're supposed to do, sir. Do what you're supposed to do, mom. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what it did for me. Then you have to establish custody and who gets what and get that and that kind of thing. And you know, most times it's easy, especially in Jamaica. The woman keeps the kids. Most times everywhere in the world, the woman keeps the kids. The man them don't really want to kiss them with them. I don't know if they think it's a tie down thing or them just can't. The woman keeps the kids, and then they have visitation. So yeah, that's how that works. That's pretty easy. Number 4 is you have to have an open line of communication with the person you have the children with. You have to open at least one line you're comfortable. I initially started with email because I couldn't stand to talk to him on WhatsApp or iMessenger. I just couldn't do it. It was just, and then seeing his statuses, and he was living his best life and I was living my best life, and we just started to argue about things that was none of our damn business, and it just never worked out for us. So I told him, for right now, I think we should just block each other both on WhatsApp and just move into a domain where we're comfortable. So we went into emails, and then when email wasn't working out so well, we said, well, hey, we both have an iPhone. Let's do iMessenger. We don't have to watch statuses or anything. It's just words. So I opened a line of communication. I spoke to him about the kids. I sent photos there. He would send photos and he had them. I would send bills that I needed to pay for the kids, reminders, lunch money stuff. I had a calendar for myself and him and the kids when they had a function, you know, if we need to swap weekends, that kind of thing. So we definitely had to get into opening the line of communication in a way that we're comfortable. That's very important. That's going to be key to your mindset. It's going to be key to your children's well-being and you actually moving on. Yeah. So it might sound like, yeah, you're going to open the line of communication and go invading your space, and you're going to have some of those, but again, it goes back to step 1. Setting some boundaries and letting them understand, say, oh, you need to just, yeah. So the next thing is to be very transparent with the kids and everything that's happening with them. You have, and he has, the same rights that you do. Unless there was something that went wrong and he's negligent and you got custody, or he got custody because you did something stupid, or he did something stupid, and the laws came in and took the kids away, and now he's having to rebuild that trust. If that didn't happen and him and the pity them father and he want to be inside the children and father, then make him be that. Don't be bitter and angry and grudgeful and try just not to have the children communicate with their father because you're pissed out at a relationship in work. That's not their fault. And you're screwing up their lives by not letting them be able to engage with the man or the woman in the relation in their lives that fathered or mothered them. You have to really, open the line of communication, be transparent. So I tell the kids that everything that's going on with them. I give them a phone call. Hey, this is what's happening. This is what I heard. Can you talk to them about this? Because you're going to understand, especially when this is somebody who wants to be in a kid's life, you're going to realize that they're going to go to each of you for different reasons. Each child or your children or your child will go to you for something and they won't go to their dad for. Or they'll go to their dad for that they won't come to you for. Whatever, you know what I mean? I'm more than likely mess that whole thing up. So you have to be transparent. And, when you start setting the trend of, I'm calling you once a week on this particular day when you're free or whenever you're free and discussing the kids, you start to realize that the temperature of the hostility between you two start to get down. It starts to dissolve and go away. And then you start to, it miraculously, you start to understand this person a little bit better and know exactly how to talk to them and how to put things across to them, right? At least that's how it works for me. And finally, you have to negotiate and think about this co-parenting relationship like a business. Did you see that? Did you see that? She's trying. She just snuck across on the floor tonight. My kids are lit. But negotiate like a business. And it really is. You're in the business of parenting your children. You're in the business of parenting your children and negotiating that business arrangement with another partner in the business that you don't like. Look at it that way. You don't like this man, you don't like you, or probably just whatever. It's probably just bitterness. It's different when you're asking for a favor. If you're asking for a favor, then that's a whole total different ballgame. Then you can go to them and say, hey, I need a favor. I need you to do me a solid, and I'll owe you this. But it's still a negotiation. Because what I'll do is that I know you're supposed to take them this weekend, but I have something to do next weekend. So can you take them this weekend for me? So I hope these tips helped you, and I wish you all the best in your separation. And I always tell you, everything will just fall in its rightful place. It will just work out. Just as long as you push your mind to it, will work out. So if you like this video, please leave a comment. If you'd like to hear more about separation and divorce and that kind of stuff, just leave a comment as well and let me know what your challenge is, and I can tell you if I went through that and I can do a video on it. So go ahead, like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Oh, watch them somewhere. Watch the playlist here and the one right here, and the one up here. So all right, just do that.